Good afternoon, my friends, and welcome to another episode of Try Bonsai. It's your boy, Bana, and this, my friends, is an ironwood. I seem to have a particular liking for this species of tree. Why? Because it has a really very nice, interesting bark texture. It has the peeling bark, and there are multiple colors along the bark. Apart from that, it has really very small, nice leaves, and it makes for a nice bonsai. It gives you a pretty good structure. You know, for bonsai, it's an amazing species to work with. For those getting into it, if you have not had this plant as yet, it grows moderately fast-ish. It's not dead slow. You know, some plants that grow real slow. No. Like I have Eugenia grandiflora, and that is as slow as cold molasses from the freezer. That real slow. This ain't like that. This has some pep in it, and as I said, it makes a really nice tree. It's a really nice tree for bonsai, and it makes some really nice bonsai. Now, this particular tree has been growing via the clip and grow method because I prefer the clip and grow method versus the wiring, right? Not saying that I have anything against the wiring. I don't. I will utilize it. I will try it, you know, that kind of a thing. But this is being grown via the clip and grow method, and as you can see, I have it here planted in a bucket. It has been in this bucket for more than a year. I can't remember exactly when I put it in this bucket. I wasn't taking date. But what I can say is that I got this as a much smaller plant from my friend Dion Ali. And what I decided to do is to plant it in a slanting style because of how it grew. So let me show you guys how this has been growing, and then let's move on to what we're going to do with it. Yeah, let me just go. So my friends, as you can see, it is planted in a nice slanting style because of all of the curvature and whatnot that it has. Now, as it comes up, there's a little bit of a bulge here from a removal, which healed over nicely. Very, 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 very nicely. Right, as you can see, these cuts heal over quite nicely. There's another cut here that is healing over quite nice. And I am trying to create something of a structure on top here. Now, originally I thought I might have gone with a windswept because the branch coming up this way, I would send the branches all over on the other side like this. But what I did, not intentionally, but what happened was that the tree in and of itself chose its own style. So what I am doing now, or what I have been doing, is clipping and pruning to enhance the style that the tree has chosen. And it's a very nice style. You know, it's giving me the branches and the branch structure. And I am hoping that I don't have to take this. But you never to know. As things go on, you know, things never remain the same. Things always subject to change. So we will see how that goes. So this is the structure of the tree. And what we're going to try to do today is to take it out of this bucket and get it into something shallower and start working on the root development and flare and that nabari that we would love to have to the base of the tree. Now, I don't know how much of a nabari it has so far, but we're going to see that today. Yeah? So, my friends, I took the opportunity to get it out of the growing container that it was in, aka the bucket, and I am going to start removing, taking my time and removing some of that soil from the top, trying to get down to where the root plane starts from, and from that we're going to look at getting it into a fresh batch of soil, because I don't think I had this just a year. I think it may be more than a year, and it was planted into this bucket. Find this root system feeling a little bit loose, but it was planted into the bucket, and all I've been doing during the period was clipping the top, clipping back the top, and just watching the tree do what it does. So I'm going to come off camera for a bit to get this out of this soil, or to remove a good bit of this root ball, and let's see what we have happening root wise. I was able to remove the dirt easily enough from this root ball, and it's not much of a root ball at all, to be honest. You know, these are the roots. We have a bit of flare coming here, a bit of flare on this side. However, not much happening here, and not much happening to the back here, you know, but we're working with it. We're going to see what's happening. I thought that I would have had a lot more roots, to be very honest. I thought I would have had a lot more roots in this system than I have now, which is not necessarily what I wanted, but it is what it is. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to remove too much, but I am going to try to remove a couple of the items that not in the best possible place. So as I adjusted the camera so that you all could be in a little bit closer, I have a root here cutting across like this rather than flowing out. So I'm going to remove this from here, taking it off, and I'm going to go around the planting, removing some stuff. Now, there is a root under here that I need to take this off, you know. No. Oh my word. What is attached to this? Let me see if I can let you all see what is happening here. Here is a root that is sticking straight down. I'm not sure if you all are seeing it properly. This root sticking straight down. And attached to this root is a lot of other things. I am going to have to take it off because it is not, and I say this, I'm going to take it off. I am hoping that the plant survives. I'm going to do my very best to make sure that it survives, right? But this is not in a good place, and this is not a good root at all. It is not adding the kind of value that I want. So I'm taking it off. So big cut, Nigel, I'm stealing your line. Big cut coming up. And it is gone, and with it, a lot of roots went with it. So Here we don't really have anything to the back here, but I hope that something could be developed out here. So we're going to clean this up just a tad. And this is a very tough piece of material to work with. It's called ironwood after all. I have a root here that is curling back in on itself. So I'm going to remove that. Ooh, and I have to be careful because I just put the scissors in a precarious position and it fell almost on my foot. Whoa. Now, I have a root here that is sticking down, but I think I can adjust it where it flares out. But I am going to remove. Ooh. Friends, I've taken a lot of chances with this tree. All right. I removed this jungle roots here, right? Which wasn't adding value to the base of the tree. It wasn't flattening it at all. As a matter of fact, it was like a standalone eye poker. Well, not eye poker, but you know, it wasn't in a good direction at all. So Rome wasn't built in a day. I am going to plant it up like this. What I will do is I am going to add a little bit of sphagnum moss directly around the roots, as it is said that the sphagnum moss encourages the creation of more roots. It is used in air layering. So I'm going to use some sphagnum moss and I'm going to plant this into its new temporary pot, which happens to be a wooden pot, a wooden box. So let's go and do that. So I've added a little bit of drainage screen. Not the best looking kind of screen, but it will serve its purpose. And with that, I am putting down this first layer or base layer of soil. And this is a pretty wide box. Now I don't want too thick of a base layer because the plant has to fit, the tree has to fit in here. Right? So we have to identify, my friends, we have to identify where it will sit. So if I am putting it, ooh, there's another root that is underneath in a bad way. Oh, I'm removing it, yet another big root or sizable root in favor of everything else that is fanning outward. So, my friends, what I want to encourage, and I had to remove a couple other bits of roots. So I've decided to put the tree more or less in the center. And the reason for this is to give the roots enough space to really and truly spread out. Now, as I said, I was going to put some sphagnum moss, so let me get some tidbits of sphagnum moss so that I could put that in and around the root system. So my friends, I spread some sphagnum moss and I am working one-handed because the tree is not standing on its own as yet. So working a little one-handed, and I am trying now to finish putting the soil around the tree. Now you ever reach a junction where you finish the body of work and you look at something else and you realize you could probably use that instead. So I just put this into this wooden box, right? And I could say, all right, no problem, I'm sticking to my guns with this wooden box. But I just realized that I had this circular pot. It has a little bit more depth than the box, and it's a bit smaller, and I'm wondering if the tree would do better in this versus this. You know what, let's stick to what we're doing here, because this is what my intention was. What I will do, I will place this rock to the back here to help stabilize that tree, so that, and I'll get another rock and place it in front here to further help the tree to hold it down, and I will put this in a nice safe space. Now, what you guys would have seen me doing is I sprinkled a bit of slow release fertilizer around so that some additional nourishment could be given, and I want to hope for the best with this. And while I'm at it, although I did some extensive pruning over the weekend to practically all of my trees to reduce the forest look, I'm just going to take a quick look at the structure of this tree and probably see if there's anything that I could, prune so that it would take additional strain off of the roots, because really and truly what we want is for these roots to develop, and once they develop nicely, we're going to get a strong tree. Yeah, so let me take a look at that. So my friends, as I look at the tree, I think I want to reduce the height. This is a bit tall. I want to bring it back down to probably about here, taking off at least 3 inches off of this top. So that way I can do some redirection, because as I'm looking at the tree, there's a lot to be developed in the back here, and I estimate that it's because of the root system, as it were, right? And based on what I understand, the top of the tree is a reflection of what is beneath the dirt. So we need to do some development. It's going to take some time. I'm here for it. God willing, I am here for it. And we're going to do some development. So I'm going to reduce this to here. I'm going to go back even further, right? And I'll cut a small branch. So I took this off, reducing this apex, and I am going to reduce this side branch here I am also going to reduce here. And as I go around the tree, I'm making some cutbacks to improve for the future improvement of, or to improve the structure and develop a better branch structure, and reducing the strain on the roots so that we ain't gonna have a struggling tree that want to kick the bucket quick, fast. Right? So as I go around, now it comes up here and it tapers, but this branch, this, as we follow this trunk line, this is putting on a bit of size, and I'm wondering if I should just remove this and reset the top. Let me see. And as I was telling you about the flaky bark, nicer. Wow. So what I'm gonna do, my friends, I'm gonna take it back to here, and let's see if we could develop something new from this point. So here we go. Removing this, and I took the tree right back down. And as I take it, as I reduce the height of the tree, it didn't look so bad at this height, you know. Developing something here, it doesn't look bad at all, as a matter of fact. Does not look bad at all. What we're gonna do now, I'm gonna give this a good soaking and put this where it will do its recovery. So on that note, my friends, thank you so very much for your support. Thank you so very much for joining me here on Cry Bonsai. Like, subscribe, share, leave your comments. I would love to know your thoughts on this particular body of work and what you think about, from choice of pot to the styling choices, the pruning choices. I would love to know what you think about it. Granted, I can't take it back, I can't undo what I did, but at the same time too, when we share ideas like these, you know, it gives a bit more information and a lot more thought or things to think about moving forward into future projects and future bodies of work. You know, as per usual, be good to yourself, be good to others, treat people how you want to be treated, and always remember that our climate is our responsibility. We have an opportunity to change it. If not for ourselves, yes, we would like to benefit, but think about the children, think about the future. Yeah? So, Christmas coming, all your Christmas coming. So all you will get some Christmas music in all your ways going forward. On that note, my friends, take care. I will see you all soon. Bye.